Every night at exactly 2:03 a.m., something strange would happen. No alarm ever rang. No sound came from outside, yet my eyes would suddenly open as if someone had whispered my name in the darkness. I would lie still for a few seconds, staring at the ceiling while my husband slept peacefully beside me. Then I would quietly leave the bed, careful not to make the slightest noise. The house would be completely silent. No lights, no movement, just me holding my phone with shaking hands. If anyone had seen me, they would have thought I was hiding something terrible. The truth was even worse. I wasn't waking up because I wanted to. I was waking up because every night at 2:03 a.m., someone was waiting for me. Someone from a part of my life that should have stayed buried forever. My husband and I had been married for almost 3 years. From the outside, our life looked happy and ordinary. We shared breakfast every morning, watched movies on weekends, and talked about our future like any normal couple. He trusted me completely and never gave me a reason to doubt his love. That was what made my secret so painful. Every day I looked into the eyes of a man who believed in me without question, while carrying a truth I was too afraid to reveal. The guilt followed me everywhere. Even when I smiled, laughed, or sat beside him, a part of my mind was counting down the hours until 2:03 a.m. arrived again. It all began with a message from my ex-fiancé. At first I ignored it. Then another message arrived. Then another. Soon the messages became impossible to avoid. One night he sent a text that made my blood run cold. He claimed he still had things from my past that I had begged him to destroy years ago. He told me that if I refused to answer him, he would send everything to my husband. I stared at the screen for a long time, unable to breathe properly. I knew exactly what he was capable of. He had always known how to manipulate fear, and he knew which fears would hurt the most. That night I made a choice I would regret for months. I replied. I told myself it was only to stop him, only one conversation, only one message. But secrets have a way of growing when they are fed by fear. One reply turned into another, then another. Before I realized what was happening, I had created a routine around his messages. Every night at 2:03 a.m., when my husband was deeply asleep, I would quietly leave the room and lock myself in the bathroom. Sometimes my ex wanted to talk. Sometimes he wanted attention. Sometimes he simply enjoyed reminding me that he still had power over my peace of mind. As the weeks passed, I felt as though I was living two separate lives. During the day, I was a loving wife trying to act normal. During the night, I became a prisoner of my past. The stress slowly began to consume me. I slept less and worried more. Even simple conversations became difficult because my mind was constantly distracted. My hands would shake while cooking dinner or answering ordinary questions. Every notification made my heart race. I started feeling exhausted all the time, and eventually my husband noticed the change. One evening, he looked at me with concern and asked if something was wrong. I quickly smiled and said I was just tired from a lack of sleep. He accepted the answer, but I could tell he wasn't fully convinced. That moment stayed with me for days. Part of me wanted to tell him everything. I wanted to hand him my phone and confess every secret conversation, but another part of me was terrified. I feared losing his respect. I feared disappointing him. Most of all, I feared watching the trust in his eyes disappear forever. So instead of telling the truth, I continued carrying the burden alone. Then came the night that changed everything. I was sitting in the bathroom replying to another message when I noticed an unusual silence filling the house. It felt different somehow, almost unsettling. When I finally walked back into the bedroom, I stopped in the doorway. My husband was sitting on the edge of the bed. He wasn't asleep. He wasn't confused. He was simply waiting. In his hands was my phone, unlocked and glowing in the darkness. My entire body froze. The room suddenly felt smaller. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then he looked directly at me and quietly said, "I know about 2:03 a.m." In that instant, I realized something terrifying. He hadn't just discovered the truth that night. He had known for a long time. I felt my knees weaken as months of fear crashed down on me at once. I tried to explain, but the words refused to come out. Then he said something I will remember for the rest of my life. "I wasn't waiting for you to stop," he said softly. "I was waiting for you to trust me enough to tell me." Those words hurt more than any accusation could have. For the first time, I told him everything. Every message, every threat, and every sleepless night at 2:03 a.m. I expected anger, shouting, and the end of our marriage. Instead, he listened quietly and told me we would face the problem together. We remained husband and wife, but the experience changed us both. Even today, whenever I see the clock showing 2:03 a.m., I don't think about the night I was caught. I think about how dangerous secrets become when fear convinces you to carry them alone, instead of trusting the people who truly love you.